following Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's National Day rally speech, where several significant policy changes were announced. Red Dot United has expressed cautious optimism while calling for more comprehensive reforms. Prime Minister Wong's speech touched on a broad range of issues, including employment support, business regulations, parental leave, education reform, and housing. RDU welcomed these initiatives, but emphasized that these changes did not arise from sudden enlightenment within the ruling party. Instead, RDU believes that the policy shifts were influenced by the increasing support for opposition parties, which has compelled the government to respond to the people's concerns. Any shifts did not occur simply because the ruling party suddenly became enlightened. They happened after the people, like a compass, pointed them in that direction by giving the opposition more support. The party stated. RDU praised the introduction of the Skills Future Job Seeker Support Scheme, which provides financial assistance to workers who have lost their jobs. The party noted that this aligns with their long-standing advocacy for more robust support for the unemployed, as outlined in their Shadow Budget 2024. However, RDU urged the government to extend the support period beyond 6 months, particularly for workers who face prolonged unemployment or require extensive retraining. Citing the example of an IT analyst forced to take a lower-paying job as a security guard, RDU argued that the current support measures may be inadequate for ensuring sustainable, well-paying employment. This situation underscores the urgent need for retraining programs that lead to sustainable, well-paying jobs. RDU emphasized, urging the government to consider case-by-case extensions of support. On the business front, RDU acknowledged the Prime Minister's efforts to reduce regulatory burdens on businesses, but argued that these measures alone would not suffice to support local small and medium enterprises. The party advocated for additional protections, such as legislation against late payments and rent moderation, to address the unique challenges SMEs face in Singapore's competitive economy. Smaller enterprises, which form the backbone of our economy, must not be overlooked, RDU insisted, stressing the importance of equitable support for local businesses. RDU also welcomed the enhanced parental leave announced by Prime Minister Wong, a policy the party has championed for years. However, RDU cautioned that this measure alone would not reverse Singapore's declining total fertility rate. The party emphasized the need for a holistic approach that addresses broader societal issues, such as the high cost of living, work-life balance, and affordable housing, to create an environment where families feel secure and supported. Only by addressing these broader societal issues can we create an environment where families feel secure and supported, which will naturally lead to a healthier fertility rate, the party highlighted. The revamp of the gifted education program was another focal point of the Prime Minister's speech. While acknowledging the government's intention to address educational disparities, RDU questioned whether the changes would have a substantive impact. The party called for a more holistic approach to education reform that addresses inequalities between elite and neighborhood schools, including disparities in resources, teacher quality, and opportunities. RDU believes that a more holistic approach is needed, one that integrates modern competency-focused strategies with traditional educational values. The party stated. The party also responded positively to the housing initiatives announced by the Prime Minister, which aim to make public housing more affordable and accessible. However, RDU argued that more comprehensive reforms are needed to address deeper issues in the housing market, particularly for young people. The party reiterated its proposals for sustainable price appreciation, transparency in HDB flat pricing, and broader reforms to ensure long-term affordability and fairness in the public housing system. We advocate for broader reforms that ensure long-term affordability and fairness in the public housing system, ultimately protecting the interests of current and future generations of Singaporeans, RDU stressed. RDU's statement also touched on the continuity of the ruling party's approach to governance. The party noted that while Prime Minister Wong's speech was packaged as a major reset, it fundamentally adhered to the cautious, pragmatic approach championed by former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. RDU emphasized that the policies outlined by Wong reflect an evolution rather than a revolution in Singapore's governance. Both of them emphasized the importance of careful calibration in policymaking, ensuring stability while making necessary adjustments to address new challenges. RDU observed. RDU Secretary-General, Mr. Ravi Falurmon, encapsulated the party's cautious stance by questioning whether life has improved in the past 4 years since the last general election, and whether Singaporeans can expect a better future in the next 5 years. He called for a focus on building a society that is not only liveable, but also fair and united, particularly in the face of increasing global polarization driven by ultranationalism, religious extremism, and divisive ideologies. As the world becomes more polarized, divided, and fractured by strong forces such as ultranationalism, extreme religious fervor, and fanatical beliefs in the supremacy of race or language, we must recognize that unity as a people is achievable only through a concerted effort to make Singapore fairer and more liveable. Falurmon concluded. As Singapore continues to navigate these challenges, RDU urged the government to prioritize fairness, unity, and the well-being of its citizens in its policy-making efforts. The party concluded by reaffirming its commitment to guiding the ruling party towards a true north, where Singapore becomes a more equitable and liveable nation for all.